Hey. So, I don't know what holiday weekends are like for you, or maybe how you set up your weekends, maybe how you enjoy them. Maybe you have to work through your weekends, but I got a story for you about holiday weekends. When I grew up, it's a little bit different where I lived out in Long Island, and especially Labor Day weekend. One of the craziest weekends ever. I mean, 4th of July and the summertime and, Memorial Day, but from the period of Memorial Day to Labor Day is just mayhem, complete mayhem, and a bit of a horror story. And I want to share with you. You see what happens in New York, and maybe it's not like that right now with everything going on, and I don't really know what it's like because I've been in Florida for 20 years, but growing up pretty much my entire childhood, in the summertime, people from New York City would travel out to Long Island and travel out to the beaches, right? And where I grew up, especially where the water and the beaches and stuff, and the beautiful, beautiful area. But it was just craziness. It was just insane. The amount of people, traffic, a complete horror story. And I say that because I had experience growing up as I worked in a little country deli. It was a bit of a high-end country store. Just to kind of share with you, I remember things like seafood we would sell like deli sandwiches and bagels and the New York Times and all that kind of stuff, and it was pretty cool. And it was really my one job, but it was just literally like right now, I remember on a Saturday morning at about 8 o'clock. I think they opened at 8 o'clock, so I remember there'd be a flood of people waiting to come in to get their bagel and their cream cheese and their New York Times and maybe some pastries and things like that, right? And it was just insane. And it was and I say a horror story because it's kind of crazy how we get crazed up for like an extra day on the weekend, right? And we kind of go crazy. And I don't know what it's like for you. It's totally different for me now because I ask people, like, what are you doing for the long weekend? And it's kind of like regular every weekend. And I don't know if this resonates with you about being kind of like another weekend. This message may not be appropriate for you. But if the holiday weekends, this mindset comes in as like, oh, it's just my way that I can just blow out everything. I can just go crazy. I could just drink as much as I want, eat as much as I want, do like there's like no rules, all that kind of stuff. And that may existed back, like for me, back in college days. I was doing a little writing for emails. I was doing some writing I was talking about back in college days, and man, like Labor Day weekend, it was like a party weekend, all weekend long, right? We did party. And we didn't really worry too much because you could just tie one on Friday and go right through the weekend, and Monday come around and, we have off so we can recover all day Monday and eat whatever we want, and then be like a short week. We're like, oh, it's awesome, it's a short week. And I say it's a bit of a horror story because you know what happens in like any good movie, but a horror story, right? You know what happens typically in most horror stories. You think of like a horror film is like there's like the music, the suspense, a build-up, right? So like the holiday weekend, the build-up. I can't wait. We have a long weekend. It's going to be awesome. We're going to go out of town. I'm going to get to let loose. Like the mind is like, hey, I know I need to keep on track with my diet. I know I still have 30 pounds that I've still been trying to lose for the last 10, 15 years. But it's a holiday weekend, and you know what? I'll just get back on the wagon on Tuesday, right? Well, you really were never on the wagon, truly, because then if you're really, truly on the health and fitness wagon, you realize that all of your days, not that they have to be perfect, but if you can just treat them kind of all the same, rather than that horror story, because what happens? Life is great, right? You think of like my old school horror stories. The ones now are kind of just too gruesome. I don't even watch. But the old ones back in my time, if you remember Halloween and Friday the 13th, and what was some other good? Texas Chainsaw. Like everything was good. Everybody's having fun and partying, and it's a holiday weekend. And then dun dun dun, right? And then the music gets like all crazy, and then there's a suspense, right? And then there's casualties, right? People die, they get chainsawed, and they get knifed, and they get axed, and all that kind of stuff through the door. You think of all that stuff, and then, but in the end, what happens is the bad guys, right? The villain or the crazed out wackadoo gets killed in the end, and usually one or two people still live, the smart ones, right, that were just kind of, or maybe that's just the hero of the story. So I want you to be the hero of your story for the weekend, and not like be the victim in a horror story. And I can say that it's a bit of a horror story, because what happens is, the horror is when you go on the scale next week, when you get on the scale and you've been really fighting hard to take better steps towards better health, and you're doing okay for a couple days, and then it's like another horror story. The weekend comes, and I'm not just talking about a holiday weekend, but holiday weekend just gives you one extra day to indulge, right? Like, or whether it be one day or maybe 2 days, or maybe have a long vacation plan in addition to it. And I would say, is if you're 40s and 50s, the reality is our bodies can't take what we used to be able to take. Like, we can't get away from those calories as quickly as we were able to get away from them in our 20s and 30s. And I can say, it's for you, if you're listening and you're maybe in your 30s right now, because I know there's still a few people in their 30s on Facebook. But in 20s, chances are you're not on Facebook. But if you're 30s, chances are you maybe dabble it a little bit, maybe for your work. If you're listening to me right now, because I talk to some people, and I typically work with people over 40, people in their 30s, they're, if I can just heed this warning, is don't go through that horror story over the weekends, the holiday weekends. It's going to catch up to you. I didn't think it did. It caught up to me. On hundreds of people that I talked to say, Mark, it was so easy back then. We can eat whatever we want. We can drink whatever we want. We can party all the time. We can drink, beer and wine, and not exercise and sleep in and just relax and hang out on the weekends. And you should, Labor Day, right? You want to just relax a bit, but it doesn't mean that that just gives an excuse to just take really piss poor care of yourself, because you will have to face everything that goes in your mouth, whether you suck it down and it's nice and icy cold, or you consume it, you eat it, right? Consume, drink, or eat, is that will have repercussions. It can have positive ones or negative ones. You can be the hero over the weekend and enjoy yourself, indulge a little bit, right? But no, don't blow it out of the water. What's kind of crazy to think, I think back at how I used to blow it out of the water. And I think I'd be dead, honestly, right now, the way I used to treat my body back in my 20s, and we used to party. And even I said back in my work, because what we would do on Labor Day, I tell you, this is exactly what we do. We would literally be out all night the night before. I'd have to be in work early. We'd have to work all day long. It wasn't like, we weren't like drinking on the job or partying or any of that stuff, but I was like busting. I was like working. I was like in my 20s. And as soon as, I think it was a 5:01 party, we used to call it, and 5 o'clock would come, we were in the holiday weekends a little bit later open. So then we would literally just get food and booze and, drinks, and bring them down to the beach and party all night, and then start right back over Saturday morning and get right back to work and work all through the weekend. It wasn't a labor-free day. It was literally work and party and work and party and work and party all weekend long. That's what we did. And I was thinking, gosh, it was like, I look back at it now, being a health and fitness coach, and say, man, I don't know how I got through some of those moments. I'm grateful I can look back and be a part of me knowing that, yes, that was my history and I can own up to it, but man, it's not a part of my now. And I say, because I think I'd die, to be honest with you. I think I would be the victim in the horror. I would be the one that get chained. So that's what I think of, like a horror story. Don't let your weekend be a horror story. Don't get axed, don't axe yourself, don't fall on your own knife over the weekend. You're doing so well. I have this confidence. You see, we have this confidence that happens on Monday, right? And we tend to lose the confidence because SHIT hits the fan and our job's thrown us off course. Or like my kid who decided he was going part school, parts of the time, and my daughter's going part of the time. And then my son was like, you know what, this whole school with the mask and all that's not for me. And I said to him, my wife and I said, well, if you can figure out how you can do all your work at home, do it. And guess what? We have to be very careful with how we word and have our conversations, because he's a very smart kid. And sure enough, he's a senior in high school and he's able to do all his coursework at home. So again, it kind of threw off. Now the schedule's off now. He's not going to school. So timing, all that stuff. We get things that are thrown at us. And then it's easy. We're like, oh, I just can't get, it's like living for the weekend. And then the holiday weekend, it's like that bonus, like, that's where it can become just a little scary story or a horror story, because there's a whole extra day. And maybe you're like, well, it's a long weekend. I can just drink a little bit longer because I can nurse that hangover just one more extra day. And I just want you to be careful in this daily dose. What this really is to share with you in the daily dose is encouragement. I know you have it in you. I know, here's some of the things that I've learned. If you can enjoy yourself around the time you spend with your family, around doing active, fun things, enjoy. This is not me to knock people who drink and eat and have a good time. You should, right? But if you're on a health and fitness journey, which all of us should be on, it's something that blows me away when I reach out and I message, and maybe you got one of these messages from me just asking, like, what do you have any health and fitness goals? And I'll tell you, I get a lot of people, nope, I'm good. I got no fitness goals. I got no health goals. Maybe I guess the goal could be you wake up another day. That's cool. But like, it kind of blows me away, because if you're not pursuing, the way I see it, this is kind of in a nutshell. It's like the horror story and like the hero story is like you're doing one of two things. If you're not pursuing good health, you're pursuing death. Like, I mean, it's not like gruesome. This can be a gruesome Saturday morning daily dose, right? Mark, you're supposed to be encouraging. So this could be something that it's not like you have a choice. You could be pursuing good health. You don't have to be like a rock star supermodel, 6-pack abs. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, if you've had weight on your body for a while and you're trying to lose it, there's no reason. I have the faith and trust that you can lose the weight. It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of if you're going to choose to pursue health or pursue death. Like it's not like, oh, I'm just not doing either one. No, you are. We're all kind of, the way I see it is every day we live, we're one step closer, right? And I'm okay with it. I don't know when my time is up, but I'm okay when it is. Because as a Christian man, I know where I'm going after. I know where I'm going. I know I'm not perfect. I know I have sin in my life. I know I fail, but I also have Jesus in my life, and I know where I'm going after. And there's a confidence there, unlike other. But I do know that if God chooses to keep me on this earth, doesn't give me cancer or COVID or something that's going to debilitate me, or an injury or a car accident, God forbid, any of those types of things. But I would say is I'm going to pursue health. I'm going to pursue my life. I don't want to pursue death. And the way I see it is if you're not pursuing health, if you're pursuing that horror story, if your weekend is what you're pursuing the horror story, right? And I don't know if you like Freddy Krueger or, Jason, I think of those guys, like, or what was the that one was the scariest one, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh man, that was one. I know there's all like Scary Movie. Those are all old ones too. Again, I don't watch any of them now. Faces of Death, right? Like those are scary. Those are the ones you weren't allowed to watch because it was like real stuff on Faces of Death. That was like, oh, it was crazy. So I would say you can be that, if you will, horror story, or you could be having that hero story, is you can live and enjoy life and live it to the fullest and not be perfect, and realize that practicing health doesn't mean practicing perfection. It means practicing health. It means getting on a healthy path. This could be the weekend that you get out and you move more. You go for a swim. You get on your bike. You go to the beach instead of sitting your ass on, excuse the language, instead of sitting your ass on a beach chair the whole weekend long. You go get up and go for a walk. You go play with your kids in the water. Maybe you go surfing or boogie boarding or paddle boarding. We live at the beach, so that just resonates. Maybe if you live up in the mountains, you go hiking or biking, or you take a walk on a trail. Like, you be more active. You say, you know what, the one glass of wine tastes just as good as 6 glasses of wine. So why don't I just enjoy the 1 glass of wine, knowing that 6 glasses of wine is going to put me back another pound or 2 on the scale, put me up another pound or 2 on the scale. And again, and then the worst out of all of it here as a coach is not even so much all that, or it's how much damage, how much of that horror story happens after the weekend. This is what I want to chime in. How to avoid it. Everybody thinks right now, like the moment, live in the moment, right? Live in the moment. For today, it's Saturday, enjoy, crush it, crush life, enjoy it, indulge, do all that stuff, don't worry about it. But what happens if you're on a weight loss journey is that what's going to happen on Monday or Tuesday now, because we have Monday off. Tuesday is going to come around And if you're on a, like, say you're on a fitness journey with me in my program, we do measurements and stuff over the weekend. But let's just say you like, ooh, I don't know how bad, I don't want to get on the scale. Or you get up and you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't want to look at yourself in the mirror. Or you put on the clothes that they were kind of barely fitting, like maybe a week or two ago, and the weekend kind of got the best of you. And I'm not saying just one weekend will do it. Typically it's more than one weekend. Typically it's many horror stories. And that horror stories, you go to fit on your clothes for work and you don't fit in your clothes anymore. And those were already the next size up. I had a conversation with somebody the other day and I asked, what percentage, here's my question to you, here's a good one. What percentage, and I never asked this question, I asked variations of it. I say, okay, so your clothes, so you have clothes in your closet that don't fit. Would you give me a percentage of the clothes that currently do not fit in your closet, that you have in your closet, that are sitting there waiting, crying for you to put them on? You know you could look good in them, but you don't fit in them. So I asked this woman at a call, and I said, what's the percentage of your clothes that do not fit you in your closet? And she thought about it for a moment. She's like, probably about 80%. 80%. So let's just say you have like 10 pairs of pants and 10 shirts, blouse, whatever you call them, tops. 80%, meaning chances are the 20%. Chances are the 20% maybe some yoga pants and some stretchy jeans or stretchy pants, right, that you hate to put on because you know that's like not the ones that you really like and the ones that really make your husband hot for you. Like, you know, putting those on, like those are like, oh yeah, this is date night tonight, right? Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, there's something about it. That's the horror story. It's the after horror story, right? The after the weekend horror story that happens, where then you start to feel bad about yourself. And then guess what happens there? Then it's like Freddy. It's like the next. It's like what was it? Not Scream. Scream 1, Scream 2, Scream 3. Right? Your Scream 1 is you're going through the weekend and it's all crazy. Scream 2 is you go and you get on the scale and you're screaming because then none of your clothes fit. Then Scream 3, the movie Scream 3, is you're going to the ice cream, right? The ice cream, and you're just trying to drown your sorrows in feeling bad about yourself because that will make you feel better. In reality, it'll make things even worse because then you're just going down this kind of dark road quick. And it's kind of crazy to think that we go towards the things that make us unhealthy and typically unhappy for the short-term moment of something, say like an ice cream that'll be a fix, or alcohol, or fried food, or whatever it is, right? That comfort kind of thing. Comfort with food and things like that, so small-lived versus the comfort of being the hero through your weekend. This could be that the weekend you could be through the hero. This could have been the message that you needed to hear to maybe prevent you from going overboard and off the rails like I did way back. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't way back, because I've definitely had moments when our kids were little where we're like, forget it. Let's just do the pizza. Let's just make, like last night we made margaritas, and it's interesting because we're sitting and drinking a good margarita that I made, and it was a good one, and it tasted good, and we enjoyed it, and it was just nice. And actually we were contemplating going out to eat, but my wife hit the gym. I was really fired up. She didn't do it in the morning. She did it, and I went to the gym during the day. We got our workouts on, and then we were going to go for a bike ride. And so we were deciding to like make dinner at home, and we made turkey tacos. They were delicious. It didn't take much time. It was super easy. We ground up some turkey. We had that. We had a little guacamole with that, and a couple of chips, and we had one margarita, and it was nice. Kids were all doing their own thing. It was just nice, and it didn't overindulge. It didn't go overboard, and it's something now. It's kind of there's a difference coming out the next morning on Saturday morning, feeling great and alive and enjoying myself and living life and not going overboard. And there was no horror story for me last night. So my question to you is, what do you want to be? You want to be in the middle of a horror story, or do you want to be the hero in your story? So you could be the hero in your story, and sometimes you don't know what that looks like and you need help. And as a so if you don't know, if you haven't listened or watched me anytime, I am an online fitness coach. I've been a fitness and health expert. I would say I was an expert when I first started back in 1995. That ages me. Yes, it ages me. Yeah, I've been in the health and fitness space longer, I say more than half of my life. So I'll be 48 this month. celebrating that. But I've been in the fitness space for 25 years, and I'm not talking about working out. I'm talking about actually as a career. And in the last 3 years, I developed an online fitness program from all the years of knowledge, the 25 years of experience, getting tons and tons of success stories, having experience in personal training and in corporate fitness and owning a gym. And again, this is not to do this. This is just to share a bit of who I am, because you're like, who the heck are you? Like, why should I be listening to you right now? Why are you telling me about a horror story? Why are you pissing me off on the weekend? Is I want you to win. I want you to win at life. And when I have people that come in that are the right fit for my program, because not all people are the right fit. In fact, there's some people that are the right fit and they don't think they're worth it enough to invest in themselves. And that's kind of sad. It's sad because I know I have the confidence to get them there. And then there's other people that just aren't the right fit. And that's sad too, because they're not serious enough and ready to make the changes they need to get on the best path of the best life that they can live, healthiest and fittest life. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm not pushy. I want to pull people in along with me on my journey with me. I'm planning to, I say this and I state it now, is I'm 47, gonna be 48. I plan on being in better shape at 48. This next year, regardless of what's going on in the world, I plan on being now I'm gonna be a year older, so I'm not like discounting that I'll be a year older. I'm not going through a midlife crisis. 48, I'm gonna be in better shape at 48 than I am at 38. And I say smarter shape, healthier shape, better shape at 48 than I was at 38 10 years ago. I want more people that want that, because I think there's a lot of people that are settling at 48, my age, and they're settling to feeling like they're 58, and that's settling, because 58 isn't all that bad. It's okay to have 20, 30, 40 pounds overweight. It's okay to do what I want, and I don't mind going to a doctor's office. I don't mind them telling me I need to be on medicine. That's fine. I'll just let them. I don't mind going and having surgery or doing some, knee replacement, joint replacement. That's fine. I did some damage to my body for the years. Like that's okay. I mean, if that's settling, if that's for you, then definitely I'm not for you. But if you're wanting to look like and feel like it feels to be 10 years younger, I'm ready to pull a few more people along with me. I have a team, and I set up a program, and it's online. And I give you exactly what you need. In fact, it goes around workouts that don't take you hours and hours. There's no extreme diets. I'm not gonna say, hey, you'll lose 20 pounds in a week. There's no keto involved. There's no quick fixes. There's no fat. Well, yeah, if you want to fast, but it's not like intermittent fasting. Hey, are you an intermittent faster guy, or are you this guy? No, I'm like a realistic guy. I want you to have fun, enjoy your weekends, and learn what it takes. It doesn't take that much, but it does take direction, it does take clarity, it does take accountability. Accountability is one of the most important things. And if you think you're going to hold yourself accountable, or your spouse is going to hold yourself accountable, you're going to be selling yourself short. You can ask yourself, well, why the way I see it is people that are 48 and 50 and they're not getting the help that they want, and they're not in the shape they want. I ask, why not? Like, hey, Mark, I know what I need to do. I just am not motivated. I just can't get it together. I'm too busy, right? I just don't have the time. It's all BS. It all is BS at the end of the day. You either make excuses, you can continue making excuses, or you can get results. It's simple as that. So anyway, I hope your weekend isn't a horror story. I hope you become the hero. If you want to know what I offer, if you want to know, I don't tell you what I offer. I actually want to know what you can offer me as a student. If you want to be, I want to know if you're serious, if you're decisive, if you're committed, if you want real change, if you're ready to invest. Look at this. I'm getting fired up. My glasses are all fogged up. Yes. So we get older, our eyes. If your vision is off and you think you can take care of getting in the best shape of your life at 48, 50, do it. Do it. But if you're not doing it, don't sell yourself another day and believing you're going to do it by yourself, or that some other quick fix is going to do it, or some other crazy diet is going to do it, or you're going to do another cleanse after the weekend. You think that's going to be your solution. It's not a solution. I'm going to get this through to you. If you've been listening to me any amount of time, I'm as consistent as the next person. I would say I'm not as the next person. I'm as consistent as they get. I was going to say, you're going to hear me saying the same message over and over and over again. When is it that you're going to jump the fence and you're going to book a call with me and see if we're a fit or not? Now, if you're not serious, that's cool. If you want to listen to me, get all the free advice, maybe the helpful tips, that's awesome. I have a lot of people, and they reach out and they say, I don't know if I can afford working with you, Mark. And I was like, well, how much are you leaving on the table by not? How much is it really costing you if you look at the amount that it's cost you maybe for the past 5 or 10 years, how much is it costing you not to invest? It's easy. People are either, what we end up doing, and myself included, this is me, we either spend money. Two things we do with money: we spend it or we invest it. We spend money or we invest it. We spend money on food, right? But it's sort of, and you can invest healthy food into your body, or you can invest crappy food into your body. We spend money on things like, I have a tower garden here that's over on the side. It's one of those vegetable garden things. And I spent it, I bought the tower garden, but I invested in that tower garden so we could get fresh vegetables, right? Or you can just spend it on simple things, like you could buy a hat, maybe fancy glasses, a watch, or something like that. You're spending, it's not really an investment, or you're investing. You say, well, I got my kids are in school and I'm investing. Yes, that's an investment in them. But what are you doing investing in yourself? I always ask this question, how much are you investing in yourself right now? And I'm like, well, I work out 3 days. I'm not talking about that. How much, financially, are you investing in yourself right now? Because what happens is you're either going to invest in yourself now, or you're going to be spending it on your health having to be taken care of by doctor's visits and surgeries and medications. And trust me, I know all about that. It's what I've been doing for years and years and years. So anyway, horror story. Saturday, I hope it's not a horror story. Hope you're the hero. If you want to know what it looks like to become a hero, you want to get in the best shape of your life, send me a private message. I'll pop the link down in the comments below. You can fill out a quick little application, answer a few questions. If you're the right fit, we can book a call. But I'm just telling you right now, if you're not serious, please don't book a call. If you're not serious, if you're not ready to invest, I don't offer a free program. This is my livelihood. This is how I pay my bills. This is how I invest back in myself. This is what I do for a living. It isn't something I do for free. This 30 minutes, I can't get back. This is definitely an investment for me into you, to share with you more about who I am and what I can offer, as well as just to provide some good, valuable encouragement. And that's what this daily dose is all about. Take care. Have a blessed weekend. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.